Alright. Business. Okay, wait, let me. Okay, there we go. Should have done that before. And then, okay. Let me stop watching that. Going to plug this in. Alright, wow, we already have one like. Okay. That's so weird because no one appears to be watching. Okay. Now it's registered that someone is watching. Alright, alright, alright. I'm Matthew McConaughey. Oh, 2 people. Okay. Let me just tweet out the link to this stream and then we'll start officially. Okay, let me just tweet out the link to the stream. So give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec. I'm about to tweet. My Twitter is loading. Hello. Okay, well, I'm waiting for this. Can you guys hear the birds chirping in the background? Because there's a lot of birds chirping, which I don't mind, but all right. I'm tweeting right now. All right, we're finally live. LOL. You gotta add the LOL so it's like not too serious. Okay. Let me just, all right. And we're good. Now I can focus all my attention on all of you. Okay. Okay, so Soham Desai says hello. How you doing? I'm great. How are you doing? Oh wait, you told me your name last time. Oh yeah, Mad Alice X. Hiya. Hiya. Alexandra Trastamara, hey girl. Hey, what's up? I just wanted to say really quickly, as you all have probably noticed, that this stream is an hour late, and that's just simply because I overslept. I like woke up, I had an alarm and I like woke up and it was like 8:50 something a.m. and I was like, okay, I still have a couple minutes, and then I woke up and I really overslept. So sorry that this stream is a little late today, but I'm gonna make it up to you guys by making today's stream a little bit longer than the usual like 1 hour that we normally do. So we're gonna try and do 2 hours today. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Now we're here and we're doing the stream. How are you guys on this lovely Sunday morning? I'm doing pretty good because I just woke up, so nothing has happened to me so far. But what are you guys up to on this Sunday morning? Are you guys, if you guys live in the United States, are you on spring break this week? Because I saw my cousin last night, and she told me that she was on her spring break this upcoming week. So maybe some of you are now finally on spring break, or maybe you just finished spring break and school starts again tomorrow, or maybe your spring break's in like a couple weeks. So yeah, I don't know if any of you are still in school or if you live in the US, so maybe none of this pertains to you. Mad Alice X. See, I remembered. It's afternoon here, LOL. Oh, it's well, do you live in the US or maybe you live in a different part of the world? Because currently it's 10 a.m. right now, so, yeah. UK, oh, the UK. Is it, Sunday there too, or are you guys a full day ahead? I've never been to the UK, but I want to go so bad. I really, 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 really want to go to the UK one day. Alexandra Trastamara. We're on Easter holidays here in the UK. I go to university there. Oh, okay, I've gone back to Spain for the holidays. I live in Spain. Oh, wow. That's exciting. So are you, oh, so you're in Spain right now. I see. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. How is the flight situation between Spain and the UK? Mad Alice X, same day. Oh, okay, that's really interesting. So it's Sunday there right now. except it's the afternoon. Interesting. I always think like the way time zones work is just not I'm not gonna say interesting again because I keep saying interesting, but I just think the way time zones work is sometimes like crazy because when I went overseas in the Philippines, like the Philippines is like a full day ahead. So whenever you fly to like Southeast Asia in general, it's like you lose a day, but then when you fly back from Southeast Asia to the United States, you gain an extra day. I don't know, it's like really weird. So Mad Alice X, same day. Yes. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, PV3, 12 a.m. here in Thailand. Oh, wow, Thailand. Well, welcome, Thailand. Well, just PV3 from Thailand. That's cool. 12 a.m. on a Sunday? Or 12 a.m. like technically Monday. Whenever it hits like midnight, wherever, like whenever, like if it hits midnight tonight, I would still mentally in my head consider it like a Sunday, even though technically it's now a Monday. But yeah. I don't know if any of you guys are watching. Well, you guys all seem to be from like out of the country, so maybe you're not. But I don't know if you guys have been watching my fan reaction Friday videos of American Crime Story, the assassination of Gianni Versace. I'm going to, so if any of you are, and you're probably wondering where is my reaction review to the finale, I'm going to be I'm going to be watching the episode today, so I'm going to be filming that, and then hopefully it'll be out later tonight. So just an FYI for anyone who is wondering where that all is. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm still working on the vlogs. I know, I'm sorry it's taking a really long time, but I promise it's gonna be worth it. It's just, when I, was filming, and then when I, like, imported all the footage, because I have a, 2 terabyte external hard drive, and like I filmed so much that I filled up, like with that footage alone, it filled up like 0.5 of my terabyte, zero point 0.5 space of my terabyte hard drive. So now I only have like 1.5 available space on the hard drive, if that makes any sense. But that just like shows how much I filmed. So yeah, it's just taking me a little bit longer to sift through. And also, my cousin last night, she torrented, I don't know if you guys are probably familiar with that term, but she torrented a Lightroom and Photoshop last night onto my computer. So now I have Lightroom and Photoshop. So, and I needed like Lightroom. I need the Lightroom software in order to like not just edit the like not extremely edit, but like low key edit a little bit the pictures that I took overseas, and also to like fit the dimensions of Instagram when I start uploading more on Instagram. So yeah, I don't know why I just told you guys that, but it just kind of like felt like it went together. Dean Classic. Oh, good morning, good morning. Dean Classic is he's referencing the song, the Good Morning song from Singing in the Rain. LOL, we didn't obviously talk whole night just trying to get my Gene Kelly on. No worries, Dean Classic. It's always great to, you know, get your Gene Kelly on. I mean, I'm not stopping you. I love Singing in the Rain. That's I haven't seen it like too many times, but I remember the first time I watched Singing in the Rain, I I watched it at school in a theater, and I remember like crying because it was just like very, like, I don't know, it was just like a lot of the things that I love about life, like music and dance and film, like all wrapped up in one really great package. So I was very verklempt when I watched it in theaters, because I think that's a really rare experience. I feel like to be able to watch like an old school movie that's like not like out in theaters currently, but especially a movie like Singing in the Rain, like I feel like usually when people watch it, it's just like on their TV, or like God forbid like on their laptop or like iPhone. Like, do not watch Singing in the Rain for the first time on your iPhone. But I was just like really happy. My first experience of watching that movie was on an actual theater, like in an actual theater screen. So, but I remember really, really enjoying that movie. Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds, ugh, R.I.P. R.I.P. And then I always forget the name of that other actor, but they're like really good. So yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I think I watched it either my sophomore year or junior year of college for the first time. I think it was my sophomore year. That makes more sense. It was I think it was like a film history class. Um, but I remember, kind of related, when I watched La La Land back in 2000, when was that, 16? I remember when I was watching La La Land, I was like, oh, this is giving me like such Singing in the Rain vibes, which I think is part of the reason why I really, really enjoyed that movie as well. Because, that movie just did such a great job with paying homage to that like era of film. So yeah, that's my mini review on La La Land. Let's see here. Last night actually, well, not last night, like technically earlier this morning before I like went to sleep. I was watching Mariah's World. I don't know if you guys were familiar with this like reality docu series that Mariah Carey did last year. It was on E News, at least like here in the U.S. But I like was starting to watch the show, and I got through like the first episode, and then I fell asleep during the second episode. Not because it was bad, I just like fell asleep because I was tired. But it was just like it was just really really like funny. Um, Alexandra Trastamara. It takes about 6 hours to get from London to Valencia, which. Oh wait, I'm not buffering anymore. I'm sorry. I'm like watching the stream on my computer just to make sure it's like not buffering either. Okay, so Alexandra Trastamara said, "It takes about 6 hours to get from London to Valencia, which is where I live. Sorry for the late reply. I'm eating paella." Wow. That's really cool. So do you hmm London? I didn't know that that like the UK was so close to Spain. I'm assuming you take the plane. Yeah, you take a plane to go from the UK to London. It's not possible to like take a train. But that paella sounds like really good though. You're making me hungry. I haven't eaten yet because I just woke up. Dean Classic. Me too. La La Land totally gave me those vibes. Agreed. Frank Leon. Paella sounds so good. Oh hi. Oh hi Frank. Mad Alice X. 6 hours? 6 hours doesn't seem so bad. It really doesn't. Like, it is a bit of a flight, but it's not, for me at least, it doesn't, it's not that bad. Because, flying from at least, like, California to the Philippines, that typically takes, like, 15 hours. But for some reason, like I don't know if like our pilot like flew really fast, but we were able to get. I remember from Manila back to LA like in 12 hours, but still, that's a long ass flight. But 6 hours doesn't seem so bad. Bouncing Soul 1987. What is your weather like today? It is 35 degrees and cold here in Chicago, but it is sunny. Um, it's sunny right now. It was raining actually, because, well, this past week I was actually in Las Vegas, and I do know that I guess like it rained for like a day or two here in California, and then it also rained in Vegas. But right now it's sunny. I don't know like what. Let me Google like the weather because I can't look on the weather app since I'm streaming on my phone. Currently it's 56 degrees, but let's see. We're gonna be hitting a high of 61 degrees later in the day, and then in the evening, a low of 50 degrees. So that's it. That's your typical. Well, that kind of is like cold weather here for us Southern Californians, but I'm assuming that'd probably be like really great, like warm weather for a lot of you guys in other parts of the world. But yeah, that's what the weather is like. It's sunny here. But dang, 35 degrees. Oh my god. No, 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 no. Alexandra Trastamara, paella is really good. A traditional Spanish dish. I miss Spanish food when I'm in the UK. I can imagine. And plus, like, since you're like home, I feel like that's a really great meal for you to have now that you're back in Spain. So I'm happy that you're happy. Julia Roberts. It takes 6 hours to drive from LA to the Bay Area. Oof, 6. I've never made that drive from San Francisco to or from like LA to San Francisco. I believe like when I was younger, I guess I went from like when I was like a baby, I went to San Francisco, but I haven't been to San Francisco as like an older person who is like consciously aware of what's happening. But dang, 6 hours from LA to San Fran. Ooh, what a drive. Actually, it's really funny that we're kind of talking about like different locations and traveling and stuff because like 2 nights ago my aunt was like, "Oh, we should go to San Francisco for the weekend." So maybe like in a couple weeks I might be going to San Francisco for like the weekend just to spend time with family. So that's cool. I actually, like I was saying, I went to Vegas this past week. So it was my first time ever, like, driving from, like, Orange County to Vegas. Because I usually, whenever I go to Vegas, because I've been, like, tons and tons of times, because when I was younger, when I was younger, I like danced. I grew up dancing for 17 years. And at the end of like during the summer, our nationals competition was always held in Las Vegas. So when I was growing up, I just knew like, oh, every summer I'm going to be going to Vegas. So when I would go, we would usually drive there, but obviously it wasn't me, it was my dad. So this past week was my first time like ever driving from Vegas to Orange County, and I was a little like, oof, I'm a little nervous because I've never like driven that route before. And it only took me like 3 hours and 45 minutes. I don't know why I thought it was going to take like 5 hours, but it was just 3 hours and 45 minutes. I was able to get through it. Thank God. And like what really helped honestly was just like listening to podcasts. Like I was like, oh, just like because the podcast that I'm currently listening to, like each episode is only an hour. So I was like, oh, just like like 4 full-length episodes of this podcast, which I love listening to when I'm there, and it just made the drive a whole lot easier. So yeah, but who knows, maybe I'll be going to San Francisco soon. Alexandra Trastamara, 6 hours isn't bad. And yeah, I take the plane from London. You fly over France, then into Spain. Wow, that's so like glamorous. I want to go to Europe so badly. I've never been to Europe, so that's really, really cool. But my mom has, and she actually went to Spain too. Frank Leon, you can take a bus from LA to San Fran for $30 via Megabus. Ooh, the bus. But do we really want to be on a bus for that long? I don't know. Personally for me, I'd rather drive in my own car, even though it would be like money on my part for gas. But I don't know. I just would rather be in my own car than on a bus. Mr. Henry 84. Oh, hi from Denmark. Hi, Denmark. Wow, we have like such international viewers. That's really amazing. Sister Satan, aka Anthony. Oh, hey. Hey, Mad Alice X. London to Valencia takes about 2.5 hours. Must have been delays. Oh, okay. I wouldn't know. So, Dean Classic. Hiya. It blows my mind that other people from other countries are watching the same stream. Same, Dean. I was thinking the same exact thing. Kid Locks, hey, hey. Julia Roberts, I took Greyhound from California to Oklahoma once. Horrible. Oh my God. How long were you on the bus if you were from California to Oklahoma? Whew, man. Yeah. I feel like road tripping in general, like it sound like the idea of it sounds cool, but then when you're actually doing it, for me, I'd just be like, oh good. But yeah, if I were to road trip ever, I would personally rather be in my own car than on a bus because first of all, like when you live in California, it's just or at least like in Southern California, it's just a thing that you have to drive. I know I have a like now cousin. She's not like biologically a cousin, but now she is a cousin because like her dad married into the family. But I have a cousin who lived in San Francisco and she's like a little bit older than me and she was like, "Oh, I don't know how to drive." Which for me I was like, "Wow, you don't know how to drive." But I guess like they can just like get around by walking or taking the trolley like up there, but like here in Southern California, like if you want to get anywhere, you got to learn how to drive. So, for me, I would rather take a car to travel if I were to road trip anywhere versus like taking a bus. George Zagagiannis. Okay, I remember one time when you were in the stream, you were like, you don't have to keep saying my name, so that'll be the last time I say your name. He says, hello. Terry Fox. Hey there. Hey there. Alexander Chastamera. No, it takes 6 hours with Iberian Airlines. Maybe they're like on a different route. Frank Leon. I hear episode 9 of ACS is crazy. I need to know what happens. When are you uploading? I'm gonna definitely film that like when this is done, the live stream is over, but I'm going to hopefully have that uploaded either really late tonight or early tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. So it'll be like really soon, like within like 48 hours that should be like out. Alexander Chastamara, don't know which airlines you used. Julia Roberts, my mom was trying to save money. LMAO, I think we were on the train for a few days. A few days? Oh my God. I mean, like, that makes sense. Like, your mom is just being really smart about it. But, like, wow, a few days. I've never traveled on a train for that long. I think I remember, like, when I was in, like, fourth grade, we took the train from, like, Orange County to San Juan Capistrano to visit a mission. But, yeah, I've never taken the train for like over like a multiple day period of time. Whenever I think of trains, I think of like the opening credits of Downton Abbey. I don't know why I just said that. Okay, Mr. Henry 84. Just out of curiosity, do you watch The Good Fight? No, I don't. Or RuPaul's Drag Race? No, I don't. And it's so funny because I actually remember like God when I was in high school, like flipping through random channels and stumbling upon the logo channel, and I remember RuPaul's like watching a couple episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race and thinking it was like the funniest thing ever and just being like really entertained, but it wasn't something that like I would like be constantly on. It was just like whenever I found the channel and it just so happened to be on, I would watch it. So it's just really interesting. I feel like that like now in recent times, like Drag Race has become like a huge phenomenon because I remember like that show has been on for such a long time. So now I'm like, why are people suddenly like I'm not like saying like they shouldn't like the show. Like I'm so happy the show is getting like recognition and notoriety, but I'm just wondering like why did it take so long for people to find the show because it's been on for the longest time. But that's definitely a show like considering the things that I love in life that I should be watching like on a more consistent basis. I just like I don't know, I just don't watch it. So therefore I would never like I can't like react or review them. Julia Roberts, the Bay Area is different. Public transportation is great. True. Well, I mean, like based on what my cousin told me, that's very true. It's so accessible and easy. I went to Long Beach and I felt so stuck. I was like stuck. Yeah, probably because you didn't have a car, but that makes sense. And then like they say like you can Uber around, but like that also or like Uber or Lyft around, but the price of that like over time will accumulate and then you'll be spending a lot of money, but I totally understand what you mean. Whew. Wow, I'm talking a lot and I forget that every time I do a stream, I need to like drink water. Oh wait, I think I skipped one. Oh, yeah, okay, I did. Kid Locks. I've never said this, but you always pronounce my username wrong. Oops. It's Kid Lokes. Oh, okay. Kid Lokes. Am I saying it right? Let me know if I'm saying it right. I'm really, really sorry. Kid Lokes. Um, Dean Classic. Are there any shows that you like to watch just for you in private? Yeah, but I haven't honestly. I'm so behind with the shows that I like to watch in private. I really enjoy This Is Us, but I haven't watched an episode this season except for little bits of the Super Bowl episode that came out, but I really enjoy This Is Us. I really love Scandal. You know, like in its later seasons, I'll admit like it kind of went a little like, but like that's a show I haven't watched at all this season, and it's the final season, so there's that. And then Blackish, I used to watch like every week. I was like, oh, Blackish is on, but I haven't watched that in like a long, long time. So that's another one. Over the summer, I started binge watching Downton Abbey, and then I like was about to start the final season, but then I remember like thinking like, oh, I want to like make it last, so like I stopped watching it, and then I randomly like resumed it a couple months ago, and I watched one episode and then I stopped. So I need to finish Downton Abbey because like the gap has been so long. So I would say like those are shows that like I watch privately, like in my own time. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. What was your favorite subject in school? I really liked lunchtime. No, I'm just kidding. But I did enjoy lunchtime, but that's not a subject in school. I really liked English. I really, really, really liked, yeah, I liked English because I like writing and grammar. It was something that like I don't know, it clicked with me a lot easier. Maybe I feel like it's because I had good English teachers throughout my like education, like my throughout like my academic career, which is that, and like by having good teachers, I feel like that makes such a difference, because I feel like the science teachers that I've had, I don't know, like no shade, but like they just like didn't teach really well, and because they didn't teach well, I lost interest easily. So but English I really, really enjoyed, and history. I liked history, but there were some grades like I really like enjoyed. I remember specifically enjoying like fourth grade history. I know that's like a long, long throwback, but I specifically remembering like enjoying fourth grade history because we were learning so much about like California history in regards to like the gold rush. And then I remember there was like a unit that we learned about like the immigration process at Ellis Island. Because for me, like I love hearing like that show, Who Do You Think You Are, on like, what's that, like on TLC or something? Like I absolutely love that show because I think like hearing the different origin stories of different families and like their immigration story and like how they got from like wherever they came from to the United States, and like what was that like story like I just love hearing those kinds of stories. So for me, that's why I really enjoyed like fourth grade history. I know it's like a really, really like long time ago throwback, but yeah. Ooh, I have a lot of comments. I need to like stop rambling. Okay, I ended up on Logo randomly too and started watching Golden Girls obsessively. OMG. Oh, Golden Girls. I didn't know that Golden Girls is on Logo now. When I had like my phase of watching like old school sitcoms in the morning specifically, and also like late at night, I remember Golden Girls was on Lifetime. Like they would show it like in an hour chunk. It'd be like two 30-minute episodes to make an hour. So it was like an hour block of Golden Girls, and then it was an hour block of like God, it was like the show like Designing Women or something like that. And then there was another hour block of The Nanny. So I really, really loved Golden Girls and The Nanny. But I didn't know that they were showing Golden Girls on Logo now, but that definitely makes a lot of sense. Julia Roberts, Drag Race is bigger because teens found it. IDK, I think Twitter had a big part in its popularity. I agree, Julia. I think like the gifs that come out of like Drag Race and like the different like memes, like you know how on Twitter like people can literally like tell mini stories by using like the 4 like picture limit to on Twitter, so like you'll see like the 4 blocks of pictures on Twitter, and you'll like see screenshots from the show like telling like an iconic story. I just feel like, yeah, I think the teens and like the young adults and the Twitter community in general is what really like helped, I don't know, make Drag Race like a huge phenomenon. So I agree with you for sure there. Kid Lokes, I got skipped. I think I went back. Because I think I saw your comment that you got skipped, and then I went back. So I think we're good. Okay, Frank Leon, hydrate in a bit. I will hydrate in a bit. Sister Satan, I remember the 3 hour stream when you were thirsty. Yes, I was very thirsty, and I feel like you probably like were able to hear that in my voice too. And I think that was also the 3 hour stream when my nose was really itchy. That stream was a mess, because then I remember at like 1.2 I put like a scarf over my face and I thought I was like Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard. That was really strange. But yeah, Dean Classic, go get a glass of water. We'll wait. Okay, I'll get a glass of water really soon. Alexander Trastamara, did you watch the crossover of Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder? I love How to Get Away with Murder. No, I haven't yet. Again, because I'm so... First of all, like, I kind of, like, low-key stopped watching How to Get Away with Murder. And especially now that, like, I heard I didn't, like, watch it, but I know that Alfred Enoch's character, Wes, isn't on the show anymore. I was like, what the hell? So... I mean, I love Viola Davis, but still there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if I want to, like, watch it. But, yeah, I haven't watched the crossover because, again, I'm, like, really behind with Scandal. Then she said ignore question mark at the end. George, Downton Abbey makes me feel nostalgic. I remember it first airing when I was 12. That feels like so long ago now. Yeah, I remember when Downton Abbey first started out, too. I don't know how old I was, though. I think maybe I was like a year or two older than you. Let me Google when did Downton Abbey appear? Appear. Yeah, when did it appear? When did it start? Okay, yeah, I was like a couple years older than you. 2011, so that means I was like 16 or 17 years old at that point, but I didn't watch it when it was on, but but I remember always knowing what it was because every time I would watch like the Emmys, Downton Abbey would always like at least be nominated. If not, they would like win everything. More specifically, Maggie Smith would win everything. But even though like I didn't watch it when it was on, there's a certain like way in which like it was the style in which like they tell their story, because I feel like a lot of TV shows now they're so like they want to quickly get through story because they're after a lot of like shock and OMG moments, but there's a pace to the way that Downton Abbey stories like unfold that I feel like a lot of like television shows like they don't move at that slow pace anymore. So for me, when I watch Downton Abbey, there's a bit of like nostalgic factor in that way too, and also like the time period. Like I don't know, for some reason sometimes when I watch Downton Abbey I get like I don't know, like teary-eyed. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I don't know, I really like that show. I need to start watching it again. Okay, Sister Satan, Anthony, I absolutely hate science. I literally only had one good science teacher in 12 years. That's it. Yeah, pretty much same, Anthony. Kid Lokes, everyone hit the like button if you haven't already. Oh, thank you for reminding me. So if you guys, there's 19 of you on the stream. So if you haven't liked this video already, I really appreciate if you could give this stream a thumbs up, because that, I don't know, it like really helped me out. And for anyone who like goes back and watches the stream, then they'll be like, oh, like people responded to the stream. So it would really help me out if you could give the stream a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Okay, Alexander Trastamara, I love science. Well, I study medicine, so that's why. Oh, that makes sense. But wow, congratulations, studying medicine. Yeah, I would imagine you would have to love science if you were going to go into that particular field. Mad Alice X, are you a fan of women's soccer? I don't follow women's soccer. I'm sure it's great, but I'm not someone who follows it. Sister Satan, The Nanny and Golden Girls are on Disney late at night in Germany. What? Oh my god, no freaking way. What the hell? I'm like shocked by that. What? like on Disney Channel for kids in Germany. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I do know that I think Golden Girls, like back when it originally aired, was an ABC show, so it makes sense. But I didn't know like The Nanny was an ABC show. Who knew? Who knew? Um, Alexander Chastamaro, fun fact, Carson, the butler from Downton Abbey, is married to Professor Umbridge from Harry Potter in real life. Yes, I do know that. I remember when I found that out on like Google, because I think I must have like Googled like wanting to know more about the actor who plays Carson. I'm forgetting his name, but I remember when I found that out, I was like, what? So yeah. Fred P. Hey. Julia Roberts. Wow, Downton Abbey premiered when I was in high school. Everyone was obsessed on Tumblr. Yeah, we were in high school, Julia. I do remember that. I think you're probably like a year or two, like, grade-wise below me. But, yeah, I remember that premiering when I was in high school. I also, like, had a Tumblr account, but I think I may have like seen a couple like gift sets on Tumblr. But I was more in like the Glee portion of Tumblr back in the day, so yeah. I'm gonna skip Dean's question and then go back to it. So because yeah, okay. Julia Roberts, Disney used to play throwback movies in the middle of the night. Now they don't. Like throwback movies in the middle of the night, like Disney though, like kids movies for Disney, like decom original movies. I feel like in terms of throwback movies in the middle of the night. I'm class of 2014. Julia Roberts says. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm class of 2012 in high school. So cool. Yeah, you were like 2 grades below me. And then she says, yeah, like old Disney movies. OMG. Okay, so now going back, Dean Classic. Are there certain things on YouTube that make too cringe? Oh, that probably like make me cringe. I mean, the Paul brothers make me cringe. Let's see. I think like the things that make me cringe on YouTube are probably people who create content because like you can tell that the content they're creating is primarily like for the views. That makes me cringe. Like I feel like there's this whole like first of all like the whole trend of lately because I subscribe to a lot of like beauty vloggers because I like watching them. There was like this trend on YouTube for like the past couple of weeks of like I try so and so's makeup routine. Like there's a part of me that was like, "Oh, okay." Then there was like this like era in YouTube where everyone did like a morning routine and I remember like watching a couple of those being like none of you guys literally do this as your morning routine. Like come on, let's get real. That made me cringe. There's like but right now I feel like there's this sort of trend on YouTube where it's like you trying anything is like work like if it was like I tried like I don't know like skydiving like I would imagine like that's pretty cool but like ooh, I don't know how to say just because I'm thinking of one specific YouTuber who's very very popular and like whenever I see them upload and I see like a new video pop up from them I'm like well they've clearly run out of ideas and I don't want to say who it is because I want to be classy like that but a lot of I'll say it's a guy a lot of his videos are like him trying ridiculous things that like why like that's every time I see him upload I'm always like but why so yeah there's that kind of stuff like makes me cringe a little bit what else another thing that like kind of makes me cringe a bit is like to be honest is when I see because I'm subscribed to some people on YouTube who have like lots and lots of subscribers and it's like when people who have that same amount of like who have that huge audience and they have that large amount of like following they like the kind of content that they create is just so plain and ordinary, and it's like, for me, it's like I have so many ideas, and like I know other like small YouTubers who have like great ideas too, and they're like trying the best that they can do, like since it's only just them, and they're still the ones editing their videos and filming their videos and doing every like the entire production all by themselves, and they're like making like really cool like original like content that I'm like, oh, like this is really like very like thought provoking, or like, oh, this is entertaining, or like, oh, like I could see like how this is for someone. And then when I compare like the smaller YouTubers to like people who have a huge like following, and then they're just like making the most bland plain content, and it's like, ugh, like if the fact that like you have a whole team and like this is what you're able to come up with, like that literally makes me want to like vomit a little bit, because I'm like, wow, that's a freaking waste. Like I don't know, that kind of irritates me a bit, frankly. And that kind of makes me cringe. What else kind of makes me cringe on YouTube? Sometimes when I like, I mean, I'm subscribed to the BuzzFeed channel, but some of the videos that they do upload, sometimes I'm like, I cringe a bit. And I don't know, for me, again, like as I kind of talked about this in my video about like what it's like to be a small YouTuber, but there's some videos, there's sometimes when I like, for like, it's just me and my audience is like so small, like the people I have following are so, it's like such a small number in comparison to like a huge company like BuzzFeed. And it's just, it's discouraging when you see a huge company like that take up so much space on the YouTube platform, and it's like us smaller YouTubers are competing for audience with like huge companies like BuzzFeed that have like tons and tons of people creating content for them like on a daily basis. And I think it's like the companies like BuzzFeed is sort of like what's forcing like the people who do YouTube like on their own to kind of work in this like crazy schedule of like, oh, I gotta upload every single day, because how am I supposed to compete with like people on YouTube like a BuzzFeed, if that makes any sense? Because I don't know, it's just like the workload of like one versus like is essentially like going to be, you're competing against like people, like a company that has like hundreds of people working for them, and then it's just you. So I don't know if that made any sense, but that's something that like makes me cringe too. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. George said, by the way, if you want another Downton Abbey-esque drama show, check out Poldark with Aidan Turner. It takes place in the 1790s, but it's still amazing. Potentially react to it, wink wink. Oh, okay. I've never heard of that show, but I'll give it a go once I'm done with Downton. VOT, hey, Alexandra Chastamara, you need to watch Game of Thrones. You'd love it. It's got great female characters in there, and it's a medieval setting. Yeah, I've actually watched the first season of Game of Thrones, but then I stopped watching because I remember when I was looking for like the links for season 2, I just had the hardest time trying to find it. But maybe like in my private time I can like try and get back on the Game of Thrones train. Alexander Trastamara, yes, the Paul brothers are awful. Yeah, they're effing awful. Sister Satan, Lily Pond's comedy videos make me cringe so hard. You know what's so interesting is like I've never seen any of like Lily Pons' videos, but I think like I may have like stumbled upon like couple second clips here or there, like via like Twitter and whatnot. And I don't know, I like, for me, like one thing, ooh, why does it say like, okay, one thing that you can definitely like count on is that I will never like, I'm saying this right now, like I'm not someone on YouTube who likes making like sketch comedy. Not to say that like people who do sketch comedy are, I don't know, not good. That's just, because I watch, like, I'm subscribed to several channels who do like scripted like shows. Like one of my favorite YouTube channels is Wong Fu Productions, and they primarily, like, they have a main channel which is Wong Fu Productions, and then they have another YouTube channel called More Wong Fu, which is more like casual talks and whatnot. But I'm subscribed to Wong Fu Productions, and that particular YouTube channel specifically does scripted stuff, whether it's comedy or drama or whatever. But I really like what they do. But in terms of like I don't know, like the likes of Lily Pons, like like I don't know, maybe like kids nowadays think that's funny, but for me, I don't think it's funny. And I've also heard like, I don't know, I've heard that she's like not a nice person, so that kind of makes me like cringe a bit too. That's another thing. When I hear that like YouTubers who are like really big aren't good people or aren't nice people, it's like, what the hell? I don't know. I eye roll. I eye roll. So it's like, come on. Do you think Nicole Kidman deserved the Emmy over Jessica Lange? Oh, JD is asking me. Ooh, that's a hard one. I do, because I think what Nicole did on Big Little Lies, like I really really enjoyed her performance. Not to say I didn't enjoy Jessica Lange's performance, but I understand why Nicole got it. Yeah, I would say Nicole deserved it. But I will say, like, if Nicole weren't to have gotten it, I think the next person who should have gotten it was Jessica Lange. Because for me, like, for sure, like, Jessica Lange and Nicole Kidman, for me, were, like, the top two, like, kind of people in that category, like, last award season. Because Nicole Kidman, like, I would say the beginning of Big Little Lies, I would say was really, like, Reese Witherspoon's show. But then, like, as the show, like, progressed, it really, for me, became a lot more grounded and centered on Nicole Kidman's character, and like her arc as a character was just much more dramatic and compelling to watch. And then, interestingly enough, I would say in the beginning of Feud, I thought Susan Sarandon's character was a lot more like compelling and interesting as a character. But then, as the arc of the season like revealed itself, it was, for me, felt clearly Jessica Lange's show. So I don't know. For me, I will say yes. I do believe that Nicole Kidman deserved it over Jessica Lange. Not to say like her performance is better or not, but like I understand, like I don't know, it's hard, but I do understand why she won. But again, like if she weren't to have won, Jessica should have won for sure. George, I kind of like the I try blank, especially the ones where people try Bob Ross tutorials. Interesting, interesting. Like, I mean, like, that's fine, but there's like other people who try, like, I don't know, like, what I'm thinking, like, specific videos I'm thinking of, but it's so hard because there's a particular YouTuber that I'm thinking of that every time, like, I swear, like, that's like literally what his YouTube has evolved into, is like him trying like random stuff. Like, I tried, the food that I make from a little kid's bake easy oven. Like what? I don't know. For me, I'm just like, what the hell? So yeah. Alexandra Trastamara, drag the YouTuber girl. Sister Satan Steffi, a classy legend. LOL. Julia Roberts, I'm so tired of sponsored videos. Like, I don't mind them and people need money, but still annoying sometimes. And all videos are being sponsored these days, even BookTube. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, for me, as someone, like, I wouldn't call, like, YouTube, like, my professional, like, career by any means. It's just something I do on the side. But I definitely would love to get to a point on like my YouTube journey where like I'm able to make like work with brands and make sponsored content. But I think for me, as long as the person is very upfront about it, it's fine, because again, it's like the amount of time and effort that it takes to make a YouTube video. I think a lot of people, not you specifically, but I would say like specifically like the older generation, they're a bit like dismissive to the whole concept of YouTube still, because it's still like relatively new. I think they specifically tend to underestimate the amount of work and time and effort it takes when you are making videos on YouTube, especially if like you're doing it as your primary source of income. So for me, I don't mind when YouTubers are doing brand deals and are working with sponsors and blah 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 blah, but as long as they're upfront about it, and as long as like for me it's not like overtly like, for me, I don't want to feel like I'm watching an infomercial when I'm watching someone do a sponsored video or do a brand video. And also, I think it's like important too, like if you're in that like fortunate position where you are getting the brand deals and when you are working with sponsors, like make that kind of content and be very upfront about it, but also like make content like that has nothing to do with brand deals and sponsorship. Like, I think it's so important if you're on YouTube and you're working as a creator for you to make work where that you want and that is like creatively fulfilling for like you and also like satisfying and fun for your viewers to watch. Like, I think it's a really like fine line to walk, but I think if you're gonna do YouTube seriously, that's something you would have to like think about. But you make a really good point, Julia. Alexandra, are you a fan of Zoella? She's a beauty YouTuber. Yeah, I mean, I'm subscribed to Zoella, and I'm subscribed to Alfie, Pointless Blog, and I feel like there was like that whole era of YouTube, like back in 2013, when their like literal like little clique of friends was just like everywhere. It was like Zoella, Alfie, Tanya Burr, Jim Chapman, Zoella's little brother, Joe Sugg, who else was like in that little clique? Like, I guess like Casper Lee was in that little clique a little bit, and Marcus Butler, and then when he was dating Naomi, I think. Out of those people though, like the ones I'm subscribed to are Zoella and Jim and Alpha. As I'm getting older is like as I'm getting older is like there's specific content that I'm like, oh, I find that like interesting and entertaining to watch versus like the challenge videos that I think era when a lot of those YouTubers, like everyone would be making like the chubby bunny challenge and then the cinnamon challenge. And I think like those people who were making that kind of content back then, like they've gotten older. So their content has evolved more as they've matured. So as I've also like gotten older and matured, like hopefully a little bit, my taste in what I like to watch on YouTube has changed. So for me, that's why I like out of those like people that I've mentioned, like that's why I like watching Jim's videos because I find that his videos I don't know, I like them. There's a little bit of like sophistication and class with what he does. It's not like Paul Brother Paul Brother level content. And same with Zoella too. I mean, like for me, Zoella is like I think she's like one of the biggest beauty vloggers on YouTube. And even though like I'm not gonna lie, there's some times where I'm like, dang girl, like I can only imagine what it is like to have such a huge following on YouTube. And like, you know, when I see like what she was able to accomplish through YouTube, like that's definitely inspiring. Like for me, what I admire about Zoella is you know, the fact that she was able to use her YouTube platform and like make it into like a whole brand and business. I think that's really, really cool. And the fact that like her and Alfie were able to start their own production company and like they were able to afford like a really big house. Like, not to say like I want a really big house, like that's why I'm doing YouTube, but I just think it's really cool that something like YouTube has mobilized them in that way. Because I for sure, like one of my dreams, like even before I started like making videos here on YouTube, is I really wanted to have my own production company. So I mean, like if YouTube can help in that way, like praise be. But yeah, I mean, like I respect her. I mean, there's some videos that she makes that I'm like, I can see that you're clearly doing this for views, but I mean, for the most part, she's cool. And I mean, like I remember like a couple months back, like around December, there was like this whole controversy with her advent calendar. I personally think that she could have handled that a little bit better by being like more upfront with her audience, because I think there was like because she does like long form vlogs on her channel that are literally like 35-40 minutes a piece, and at the end of one of those vlogs she like sat down in like her office and she was kind of talking about the whole controversy, but she never like explicitly issued an apology. It was just sort of like, well, it was out of my hands and I didn't know, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I mean, I feel like she could have handled that a little bit better, but there's things that I admire about her, and there's certain things that I'm like, about. So yeah, that's my really long-winded answer to that. Okay, Sister Satan, do you know Sim GM Productions? Yes, I do. I remember finding SimGM Productions back when they were doing their Glee spoofs. That's how I found the SimGM. But yes, I do know SimGM. I think what they do is so funny and great. Their videos are basically an exaggerated Sim version of shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's so hilarious. Yeah, I agree. It's hilarious. Alexandra Chastamara, no offense to their fans, but the Kardashians make me cringe. Yeah, I don't even watch the Kardashians. Like I don't keep up with the Kardashians in that way, but I don't know. I just feel like they're everywhere, so I like kind of know through the grapevine what is happening. Whatever. I mean, like, this is the times we're living in, is the Kardashian era, so be it. JD, have you seen the Blackley Circle? There are only 7 episodes, I believe, in total, 2 seasons, but it's a great British show. I've never heard of it, so if maybe it's a show that they only show in the UK, and maybe they air it here on, like, the BBC too in America, but they do not, I've never heard of that show. Clearly they don't promote that show here in the US, but yeah. George Zagogianis. Okay. YouTube should never be your main income source if you have less than 500k subs. Agreed. I remember this one girl called Kendall Ray made YouTube her main job, and right after the adpocalypse hit, I think he continued here. I love her, but she should have been more careful. Working on the internet is extremely risky. I agree. For sure. I agree 1,000%. And I feel like, I think you have to be, like, you have to have, like, the huge numbers, huge subscriber numbers. Like, I feel like if you're, like, in the million range, I think you'll be fine. But also, like, I don't know, like, for me too, because I've done research, just like being interested in, like, oh, how do people, like, make money on YouTube? I think it's important if you are in a position where you can make YouTube, like, your full-time thing, is not just relying on AdSense to make your money, but diversifying where you get the income to, which I think is why a lot of your YouTubers, you'll see them, like, doing brand deals or sponsorship deals, or, like, I don't know, trying to have their own, like, clothing line. Like, they're trying to diversify where they're getting their money from, so they're not solely relying on AdSense. Because I've heard from, like, different YouTubers, like, if you were to make a pie chart of, like, AdSense, brand deals, what else, like, merch, like, if you were to make, like, a pie graph of that, like, it's gonna be different for everyone, because there's some people who make, like, a huge portion of their money from AdSense, and then there's other people who make a huge portion of their money through, like, brand deals, and then there's maybe other people who make, like, half of, or like 25 or 30, 40% of their income is from merch. So I think it really depends on the YouTuber, but I do think relying solely on AdSense is foolish if you want to, like, primarily, like, make money on the internet. Like, you just have to diversify where you're getting your income. Dean Classic, yeah, the Kardashians are a cancer on humanity. Wow, that escalated really quickly. George, I love her. Oh, wait, I already read that. Julia Roberts, Adpocalypse. Yeah, Adpocalypse was a thing. Alexandra Trastamara. I love Joe Sugg because I like his pranks. A lot of prank videos are fake, but his aren't. Not a big Zoella fan after she tried to rip off her fans with... Is that the euro sign? I don't know. With I think it's 50 euro calendar. She was too complicit, and then you had Casper Lee trying to defend her. Yeah, that was, I mean, like, yeah, that was really interesting. Like, Casper, I mean, like, I understand, like, why Casper Lee is going to try and step in, because, like, that's his friend, and I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like that also might be, like, a public image sort of thing, too, on his part. I don't watch Joe's videos, for me, because I'm not too into prank videos, but I watched an interview that he did on, like, a podcast. It was, like, a 2-hour interview, and he seems like a nice guy. I hope that as he grows older, like, as he gets older, I think he's, like, older than me. I understand, like, why he makes the videos that he makes, because he's trying to appeal to a particular audience, but I hope that as he gets older, that he's able to evolve his content a bit more. So, I don't know, just some word of advice for Joe. Julia Roberts, I also hate when some YouTubers rip off their younger viewers. Yeah, like the Paul brothers. Like, the freaking Paul brothers. They're Ooh. Patrick EBFG. Hey, I'm joining super late in the middle of this. Have you talked about, or do you want to talk about the March for Our Lives, and did you go to an event? Okay, so welcome. I haven't talked about the March for Our Lives event, and I did not go because yesterday I was visiting my grandma in the hospital, and then she came out of the hospital, and then we just like had a low key family day at home because she just got out of the hospital. But I wish I could have like gone to an event because I mean I would want to show my support for that. I think what they're doing is really really cool. The fact that like I can't even imagine if I was in high school like me and my classmates being able to like organize and mobilize like they have. I think it's really inspiring that the gun control discussion has been prevalent for many many years in this country, and there's been a lot of gun shootings that have happened over the past like couple years. So I think it's really cool that the young people have sort of taken that movement into their own hands and are like, okay, now we're going to do something about it. Since the adults aren't going to do something, we're going to do something about it. I think that's really cool. But I do think it's like interesting that there's certain movements that are getting more publicized and more promoted in comparison to like other movements. Like I remember like seeing on Twitter, like someone like brought up how it's interesting how there's more media coverage on the March for Our Lives movement when there wasn't really that much media coverage on the Black Lives Matter movement, and how like some celebrities are positioning themselves and rallying behind the March for Our Lives movement, and they weren't doing the same thing when like the Black Lives Matter movement was at its height. I think that's a really interesting thing. I mean, because I mean that's true, and then you have to question like, well, why is that? So yeah, I mean, but overall I think what those young people are able to do, amazing, great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's really inspiring. It's really cool. Like if I was their age, I for sure would not know what to frickin' do. So kudos to them. Dean Classic, glass of water time, smiley face. Do I have like a water bottle here that I could just like, oh wait, okay, there's a case of water. I'm just gonna, all right, I got my water bottle now, so we're good. Okay. All right. Did Oprah ever have like, I feel like Oprah always had a glass of water when she was like doing her show back in the day. Okay, Julia Roberts. I followed someone who had 1 million viewers, and right after all her views started going down and she lost so many followers, now she has 800K. Well, I mean, for me, 800K still seems like a big number, but, I mean, it happens. Like, that's why you can't just specifically rely on AdSense and views tie in with AdSense, but that's why if something happens like that, like, you can't specifically just rely on AdSense to get you by on YouTube. Like, you have to diversify where you're getting your income. So, yeah. Let's see. JD, the Bletchley Circle is on Netflix now. It's from 2014. Oh, wow. Okay. I wonder if it's on, is it on US Netflix? I'm not sure if you're from the UK, but, Bletchley Circle. Okay, I need to check that out. I'll look for it on Netflix. It's from 2014. Wow, never heard about it. Okay, it's about World War II codebreakers, 4 women who use their skills to try to track a serial killer in the 50s. Wow, that's interesting. Is it multiple seasons or just one season? Julia Roberts. Social media is so different now. I don't know if we could have done this in high school, and I've only been out for a few years. Yeah, that's really true. Actually, that's so funny that you bring that up because last night I was going through like my personal Instagram feed, like not my Instagram for my YouTube channel, but like my own personal one, and you guys don't have to follow it because it's like a literal joke, but I like was scrolling down to like the bottom of my feed, which isn't a lot to begin with, and like just the way that Instagram looked like and the way that we would all kind of the specific pictures that we would upload and how you would caption and everything. It's just so different. Like Instagram as an app on its own is so different now compared to back then, because like back then, like people were just like uploading pictures just for the fun of it, but now I feel like Instagram has evolved to become such a business tie-in with anyone, like literally anyone. And it's like I feel like when people like search for you on Instagram, like that's sort of like your like low-key business card, and like that's kind of like how people judge you initially. And it's kind of weird that like people can just look you up and kind of judge you for who you are based on your Instagram profile. It's kind of like that Black Mirror episode of Nosedive. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't like it, but it's like the world we live in. So yeah, I agree, it's really, really different. Dean Classic. America is in great hands. The new generation are not going to grovel to bull. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, this, I mean, and I mean like the younger generation too, like they're growing up in this period when like, you know, they're growing up in this period of like the Trump era presidency and like kind of like seeing the aftermath of that like at such like a young age. I feel like, and seeing how like angry the world got, I'm sure that's definitely influential on the younger generation. And then again, like they just have access to mobilize in ways that previous generations like didn't have. And not to say like the people, like I'm thinking of like the civil rights movement back in like the 60s, like when they were doing their thing, they were able to make great strides, but then again they didn't have like the worldwide web at their hands. So I mean, hey, the young people of today, they are doing what they can given their given the tools that they have today. And I think that's really cool that they're using the tools of today to in a positive way. So I mean, like, more power to them. Let's see. Sister Satan. Steffi is clearly the new Oprah, a hydrated legend. Cheers to that. Okay. George. Social media and the internet are so different from years ago. It used to be an escape from harsh reality. Agreed. I don't even, like, I haven't even finished your sentence, but I agree. But now that politics is everywhere online, lots of people seem to want to go off the grid. Yeah, I, like, totally agree with you there, George. Like, for me, like, Twitter used to be one of my favorite apps. But then, I don't know, like, I feel like after, this most recent election, like the first month I was one of those people like who was always on Twitter, and I was like retweeting like everything that was like, we gotta stand up and blah 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 blah. But then like over time, like I got tired of just seeing that every day. And I remember like hearing, I think there was probably like an article that like we as human beings aren't built to be around the news cycle like that 24/7. And when you have access to it in the palm of your hands, it's just, I don't know, it could be such a downer in times like these. So I agree. Like, that's why sometimes, like, for me, I don't even go on Twitter. And that's why, like, I mean, like, Instagram is more of, like, I don't want to go on Instagram because, like, I don't want to compare myself to other people. But, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting that what you say, that, like, social media was initially sort of, like, an escape, but now it's, like, people are needing to escape from social media. So I agree with that. KD, LOL, agreed, at Sister Satan. Sister Satan, hey KD. Hey. That's what KD and Sister Satan are having like a bit of a moment together. Amadeus. What is your picture? Is that you? Okay, anyways. Oh wait, I skipped one. Okay, the Bletchery Circle description reminds me of Babylon Berlin, which is a new show on Netflix US. Oh, okay. They didn't promote that. It's about Weimar Republic Germany, so just before the rise of Nazism, and it's so interesting to see how the extremists kind of developed into that newly found republic. The UK doesn't have it on Netflix though because Sky funded it. Ugh, and Sky is so much more expensive than Netflix. Okay, well maybe I can get a Maybe I can check that out too on Netflix when I have the time. Dean Classic. Which do you prefer? The stream art to stream art. I was like, the stream art. To stream art in the comfort of your own home, or walking into a movie theater with the comfort of other souls around you? It depends. I feel like it depends on what I'm watching, and it depends on the mood that I'm in. Like, I mean, if I'm gonna watch okay, a really great example is like when I went to go see La La Land, that was a movie that I knew I wanted to see on the big screen, because that's a movie that was like made to be seen in that way, because it's just so like visually stunning, and I don't know, like just thinking about like the thought and care it like the director and the director of photography and the production designer and all of those creative people like took into making like a great image with just a single frame. I want to watch it on a big screen. Same with like Beauty and the Beast. Like I wanted to watch that on the big screen. But then there's other movies like that I'm like, I could potentially just stream it at home, and I'd be more comfortable. I wouldn't have to like be around people. Like I could just be in my pajamas. So yeah, I think it like depends on the movie and also like my mood too. So yeah, I would say it depends. It depends. Amadeus. Twitter has become so unbearable. Like I get that politics are important, but Twitter isn't even about politics anymore. It's just attacking everyone. Slightly problematic instead of actually doing something. Agreed. And I think that's why like things get taken like so out of like control. Things get out of control so quickly on Twitter. And I think like we're in this like Twitter is like the place where like people get easily called out on, even if like they weren't like meaning any ill harm or anything. Like people will always find something problematic about someone. Like that's just the era that we're living in. It sucks. I think it's a bit tiring, and I think like when people consistently do that, especially when like such and such person wasn't doing anything wrong or didn't need to be called out in the first place, I think it sort of like lessens the impact of what you're fighting for. So yeah, I don't know, I agree. Let's see. Julia Roberts. I deleted so many of my social media apps. It's so annoying these days. Sometimes it's a combination of being online for half of my life and all of the bad news that circulates. Agreed. And I think like, I mean, I'm saying this as someone who is going to try and be more on Instagram, but that's part of the reason why I really like, even on my personal Instagram, like I was never on Instagram. Never. Because like I knew like for like my own mental health, I don't need to be seeing what such and such person is doing 24/7, because it's just going to make me feel bad. And then again, like with Twitter, like someone was saying earlier, I think, yeah, Amadeus was saying earlier, it's like, you don't need to like be in tune with what's going on every single second of the day. So yeah. Amadeus. No, it's Harry Styles. Oh my god, that's so funny. Why does is this like Harry Styles like One Direction days? Okay, anyways. Alexander Trastamara. I heard Weimar Republic and my history lessons came screaming back in my head with my dual arse teacher in her monotone voice. Oh, sorry about that. George. Reading about politics genuinely feels bad for my health. It feels so toxic, like it's slowly eating me up from the inside. Wonder how many years of my lifetime I've lost by now. I don't know. I wonder how many years of everyone's life we've all lost in the light of the recent presidency. I don't know, George. JD, what podcast do you listen to? Oh, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I feel like the podcasts that I listen to are like specifically geared toward like my particular interests. So like, I mean, like I love the podcasts I listen to, but I'm also saying that like I also want to put like an asterisk sign that it may not be for everyone. But the podcast, like one podcast that I'm like obsessed with right now is called Diva Download. It's called Diva Download, and it's basically like two gay guys in Minneapolis, and they talk about like different divas. Like they had a like Mariah Carey episode that I just listened to the other day. They had a Whitney Houston episode. That's how I found them. They had a Celine Dion episode, and then like they'll do like fashion divas, where like each of the guys will they'll like talk specifically about one particular diva. So they had like a fashion divas episode, they had like a horror divas episode, they had child star divas. Like, I don't know, they're just like really, really fun. That's what I listened to when I was driving to and from Vegas. So there's that. I also like I used to listen to this podcast called The Read, but I don't really listen to them anymore. But I mean, if you want to check them out, they're like a extremely popular podcast. I used to listen to this podcast called The Lady Gang. I don't really listen to them anymore. Let's see. I listened to this podcast called Perfectly Imperfect. It's with these like two Asian girls, and they talk about like life meaningful lessons. So if you're like a young adult person, I feel like, and like, not saying like it's not good for guys, but especially for girls, I feel like it's a really great podcast for you, because they just talk about a lot of relevant issues that we all would be going through during this period in our life. So yeah, Perfectly Imperfect podcast, Diva Download. Every now and then I listen to like my Michael Jackson podcast, so like Moonwalk Talks and the MJ Cast. And then I also listen to there's sort of like a culture show called Still Processing, and it's through the New York Times, I believe. I forget the name of the two hosts, but they're like really, really good, because they talk about like a bunch of different like pop culture related things, but in a very intellectual way. So yeah, that's what I listen to. But then there's other ones too that I listen to on and off, but I don't think they're really like worth like mentioning. Let's see. Okay. Patrick EBFG. Twitter is worse than YouTube, and that isn't easy to do. Not that all YouTube is bad. Love this channel, for instance. Thank you. And not all Twitter either, but so much of it. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, again, Twitter used to be one of my favorite social media apps, and like, even though like I still like, whenever I find like those like tweets where it's really funny gifs or like ridiculous like memes, or they bring back like, I don't know, a Whitney Houston like video of like when you're I don't know, like, what was that thing when it was like when you're told that if you rat out the person you'll get paid like such and such money, and then they showed a little Whitney Houston clip of like Donna, Maria, Pat, Lindsay, blah 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 blah. Like, I think like that's really funny when Twitter is like that, but when it gets so like so extremely political, and it's like people who are like, they don't even have a default picture, it's like a literal like freaking egg, and they're just going back and forth, that's when I get like really exhausted by Twitter. Amadeus says to Alexandra Trastamara, ha ha ha, same, I thought it's going to be way more boring, but the main storyline is loosely following a detective who's supposed to deal with a sex scandal involving a politician. But it's a good history drama as well, because it really captures the contrast between the poor and rich in that era, the Christians, Jews, and Nazis. Wow, that's really cool. What was that show called again? Oh, the Bletchery Circle. Okay, I'll see if I can find it on Netflix. Hopefully I can. Dean Classic. You turned me on to a Michael Jackson podcast. Cool. Which one are you listening to? I like both of them, the MJ Cast and Moonwalk Talks. There's also a really great YouTube channel, sort of, it's dedicated to Michael Jackson and the Beatles, but I feel like he makes more Michael Jackson content. It's called History in the Mix. It's this like young kid, and he sort of just talks about like different Michael Jackson related topics. I suggest you watch him. And then there's also another YouTuber. Her name is like MJ Fangirl. She doesn't make content as consistently, but she's like, what she's made is like pretty cool. I've watched all her videos, so I would highly recommend if you're a Michael Jackson fan. Julia Roberts, what are your favorite podcasts? Well, I just talked about it, but I would say my favorite podcasts at the moment are the Diva Download. Diva Download, Perfectly Imperfect. Dang, I feel like this would be so much easier if I could look at my phone, but I'm using my phone to stream. Let me see if I can look at it on iTunes. Okay, my iTunes is opening. Let's see. My, hmm, hmm, okay. I don't even use iTunes, honestly, because I stream all of my music. Continue? Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm like subscribed to a lot of podcasts, but I would say at the moment my favorite podcasts are Diva Download and Perfectly Imperfect. I also I also listen to this podcast. I think it's like with two black guys, and it's called 30 to Melrose. They talk about like a lot of different like topics. Like I'm looking here at one of the podcasts they did, and they talked about like the streaming takeover, and then I guess they reviewed like the Phantom Threat movie and Three Billboards, and then they did another episode where they talked about Amazon HQ, Movie Pass, and Black Lighting. So there's that. Oh, another great podcast for anyone who's really into like award season specifically and like entertainment is Awards Chatter. It's a podcast that is done through the Hollywood Reporter, and it's basically this guy, I'm forgetting his name, but he is able to do like interviews with very like prominent people who most likely will be nominated for an award show during award season. Let me see. Like, I know he talked to like Oprah for an interview. He talked to the guy's name is Scott Feinberg. Okay, so he recently talked to Frankie Shaw from SMILF. He talked to Timothy Chalamet from Call Me by Your Name. Tom Hanks, Mary J. Blige. Like, it's like a legit like podcast, because again, it's done through the Hollywood Reporter. So I highly recommend you guys listen to that. Let's see. George, we're all masochists. We all still use Twitter, even though it's turned into the toxic cesspool it is now. Agreed. I mean, like, that's how we all get our news, to be honest. So even as toxic as it may seem, we're still gonna use it. Dean Classic, MJ Cast. Oh, cool. Wow, that must mean like, because their episodes are really long. Are you going back and listening to all of the old episodes? Amadeus, Babylon, Berlin, haha, it reminded me of Bletchley Circle. Have you seen Dark, the Netflix show? IDK had a feel about it, to be honest. No, I haven't. I have not seen. I'm a little behind when it comes to Netflix shows, to be honest, but yeah, I haven't seen that. Julia Roberts, you can make a video about it. Yeah, for sure. I feel like down the line, I definitely want to start making more like monthly favorites videos, so I can definitely talk about like the podcast that I'm listening to in those videos for sure. But yeah, maybe I'll make a video about it. I am Sasha Fierce. Hello. Then she did like the two eye emojis. Dean Classic. Are there any artsy fartsy, I said fatsy, but artsy fartsy films or directors that you like? Right now I've been really into Phantom Thread. Well, I haven't seen like, the last movie I saw was Black Panther, and I really want to go. I still need to see A Wrinkle in Time, and I still need to see Love, Simon, but I know those aren't like the most artsy films. Let me see. I'm trying to think like. I'm trying to think of I was a lot better about this when I was actually in college. Let me see. I mean, Damien Chazelle, who directed La La Land, I would say is like, I just really like, I mean, aside from La La Land, I did watch Whiplash, and that was a really, really great movie. And that was also an independent movie too, and that was clearly before he became like huge with La La Land, so I really like his style. Who else do I really, really like? There's other people, but I honestly just cannot think of them right now. And again, like I say like I'm more of a TV person than a movie person too. So I think, well, I mean, okay. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. Let's see. I don't know when I started liking podcasts, but I'm obsessed and it's easy to work when you listen to them. Yeah, agreed. Like there's some days when I'm like, I don't need to listen to people talking to me all the time. But there's other times, like when I was driving for like 4 hours, where it really helped listening to a podcast because it felt like someone was with me. But I also do like listening to podcasts when I'm like working too. So I totally agree. Yeah, I like listening to podcasts. Amadeus. Babylon, Berlin, and Blood Tree Circles both have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made me want to watch these shows. Haha. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's cool. I am asked, do you listen to audio dramas? No, I don't. Are you talking about like Serial, like that podcast? No, I don't listen to audio dramas. Amadeus, talking about Dark. I haven't finished the first season yet, but it's very middle of the road. I feel like they were trying to recreate Stranger Things, but kind of adapted for an adult audience, I guess. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Should check that out then. Dean Classic. Yeah, I love Damien's movies. I am looking forward to his next film. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too, considering that it's not very like music centric. I think because he's making that movie about like Lance Armstrong going out into space, right? So, wait, I believe that's the next movie, right? Damien Chazelle. Or wait, no, not Lance Armstrong. Neil Armstrong. Yeah, he's making that movie, the Neil Armstrong going out into space. I'm very excited about that because, like, one, Ryan Gosling is in it, but also Claire. But I saw that when it first came out, and then I saw Dunkirk, which I don't know, wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. I am. Every time someone says I am, it's highlighted for me. LOL. Oh. Okay. Angela's Cafe on TV. Have you ever watched How to Basic? No, I have not. George, Dark felt like too much a Stranger Things knockoff and the acting wasn't exactly up to par, so I stopped watching after episode 2. That's just me though. If this is that's interesting. Is that so Dark must be a new show on Netflix then. Okay. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. Amadeus, same. Amadeus says to George, same. I felt it was a really weird move for Netflix to basically recreate their own show. That's true. I am. Or even Limetown, 300 people go missing in a town and a reporter tries to figure out where they went. Is that a show on Netflix too? Dean Classic. Speaking of La La Land, pick a single favorite scene from the movie, minus when she ditches her dinner date and runs through the streets with the magical music in the background. A single scene. Man, that's hard. I mean, to pick a single scene, I'll say when, even though, okay, a lot of people make fun of the City of Stars song from La La Land, but when you watch the movie, when Ryan Gosling is walking out onto the boardwalk and he sees like the purpley pinkish sky, that's like, the California sky is like one of my favorite things ever, and the fact that they were able to capture that in such a beautiful cinematic way in La La Land, I was like, whoa, because like also I really love like that color scheme, so that's like one of my favorite scenes, like when he just initially walks out into the boardwalk and you see like this sky around him. I really enjoy that. And then I mean, like, obviously the whole, that ending montage of like the what could have been, and it's basically their story retold in like musical format. I really enjoyed that. I just thought it was so cool. Especially when there's that part in the montage specifically when they start like dancing and then they like go through this like tunnel and then they're suddenly in Paris and like the scenery sort of looks like Vincent van Gogh's Starry Starry Night, and then like you see people kind of like frozen. I think that's just like so beautifully done. So yeah, every time I saw that movie in theaters, for some reason when it got to that part, that's when I would start crying. So I don't know, I really like that. George, it's basically German Stranger Things. Dark, I mean. Okay, so is it like not in English? I am. No, Limetown is an audio drama. Oh, okay. I see. Angela's Cafe on TV. I just watched playtests on Black Mirror. What are your thoughts on it? Oh, well, if you want to know my thoughts on playtests, you can actually watch my reaction and review I did to it, like, almost a little over a year ago now, but I uploaded my reaction and review to that particular episode. It's on YouTube, so you can go find it. Yeah, get that promo. Amadeus. My fave movie my fave movies this Oscar season were 1. Call Me By Your Name, 2. Lady Bird, 3. Phantom Thread. I've also seen Dunkirk, which I found was a very interesting approach on making a war movie without any real side plot. Interesting. I feel like a lot of people, their favorites were either like Get Out, Call Me By Your Name, or Lady Bird, so yeah. Dean Classic. City of Stars is meant for us non-cynics. Agreed. Amadeus, 3 Billboards has a bad screenplay. I really felt like it was just pandering towards a Twitter audience. That's an interesting review. Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know. Frank Leon, have you seen Midnight in Paris? I feel like I tried watching it when I was younger, and I didn't like it, but I think it was maybe because I was watching it when I was younger, so yeah, I don't know. I need to go back and watch it again. Yeah, I need to go back and watch it again. Amadeus, Dark and Babylon, Berlin are both in German. The subtitles are very good, but I hate the dubbed versions. I have to read the subtitles. It's okay. Dean Classic, I love Midnight in Paris. I'm very interested how people sat through Call Me By Your Name, given that it dealt with the relationship between a 17-year-old minor and a 24-year-old man. Well, I feel like a lot of people just kind of like glazed over that like little tidbit, to be honest, because, you know, people were more after like, oh yay, we're finally getting like a gay romance on screen. But a lot of people have said like, I guess that's like of legal age in Italy, but still. And also like Armie Hammer's supposed to be 24. Okay. Frank Leon. The scene from La La Land that you described is similar to parts of Midnight in Paris. Yes, I do agree with that, though. I do agree, because I remember, like, again, I watched it when I was younger, but when I saw that part in La La Land, I remember being like, oh, this is very like Midnight in Paris. Because I believe they did, like, utilize, like, the swirly of Vincent van Gogh's artwork in Midnight in Paris. Yeah, okay. Amadeus, at I am, that wasn't really an issue for me. IDK, I feel like it's way more relaxed in Europe. I mean, our age of consent is like 12 in some places. Yeah, true. Angelo's Cafe on TV, I really enjoyed Nosedive. And by the way, I'm doing like a fan series of Black Mirror with 4 episodes, and one is like Nosedive. Cool. A fan, like on your YouTube channel? That's cool. So everyone go check out Angelo's Cafe on TV. Dean Classic. And that part in Midnight in Paris is taken from An American in Paris. Yes. Yes. Totally correct. And I believe that, there's like, that's what I think I loved about La La Land too, is, even though I wouldn't say I'm like a huge, like, connoisseur of that particular genre and era of film, like, this is gonna sound so pretentious, but because I took like several film history classes, like, I could definitely see what he was going for, and that like nerdy part of me was like, ooh, this is like so well done and so good. So I think that's another reason why I really enjoyed La La Land, because it's like you can tell clearly what he's drawing, like what he's paying homage to, and he just did it so well. So, but yeah, Dean Classic is totally right. Like that particular part of the movie is from An American in Paris, and I believe like they even have like in that montage scene when they're all dancing in that like red room, there's several like people in sailor outfits, I believe, and I think it's supposed to pay homage to that too. Angela's Cafe on TV, IDKY, I'm so off topic, haha, it's okay. I am, Sasha Fierce, at Amadeus. I mean, slavery used to be legal in America, so I don't really know if I can be okay with things based on laws, personally, IDK. Then, yeah, okay, Angela's Cafe on TV, I posted the trailer, but it's not out yet. Oh, okay. Wow, good to know. So everyone go check out Angelo's Cafe on TV. I am said to Angelo's Cafe on TV. I loved Nosedive as well. It was so good. Yeah, Nosedive was one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror. I feel like when I did my ranking like last year, I didn't, I think I like put it in the middle, but I think as time has gone on, that's an episode I enjoy going back to watch, because there's a story, like that character definitely has an arc, but there's like a sort of like mellow vibe to it that I really enjoy, and I love like the cinematography and the production design and like the color palette of that particular episode. I think it's just so stunning. And like Bryce Dallas Howard, like she's such an underrated actress. Like she's great when you let her do her thing in like like in character driven stories like a Nosedive. But then I remember when I watched her in Jurassic Park, I was like, ugh, hopefully she's better in the second one. But she was great in Nosedive. Let's see. I am gave me anxiety though. I had to pause for an hour. I can understand why. Julia Roberts, White Bear freaked me out. I'm still a bit afraid. Yeah, I remember when I got to the end of White Bear, I was like, what? Yeah, there's those Black Mirror episodes when you finish and you're just like, what? Are like the best. Those are my favorites. Even like San Junipero, I was kind of like, wow, what? Let's see. Angela's Cafe on TV. The acting was so good. I think you're talking about Nosedive, so I'd have to agree with you there. Dean Classic. Oddly enough, I was watching your reaction of San Junipero last night. That episode is simply wonderful. Wow, well, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, San Junipero, like, I remember when we recently got a new TV at home like a couple months ago, and it's like, it's a nice TV. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna don't mean to brag, but it's a really, really like beautiful TV. And I remember like one of the first things I wanted to watch on the TV was San Junipero, and like I felt like I was on the beach when I was watching it. It was just so like that the way they shot that particular episode is just so well done. So well done. Let's see. A lot of us were having a conversation about how Black people are tortured in Black Mirror, but I'm not sure if I want to get into that right now. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. I mean, there are definite episodes where the Black people are tortured, but I feel like there's also episodes where white people are tortured too. Like, I mean, like, the playtest episode. That was a form of torture. I mean, I can't really think off the top of my head, but I mean, obviously, like, one that comes to mind is like Black Museum, and also White Bear. I feel like that girl was maybe biracial, if anything, but yeah. But I mean, like, then again, like, they gave like one of their few happy endings in the entire series of the show to a Black, well, technically Gugu's biracial, but to a Black bisexual woman. So I don't know. And I also heard like too, like, again, I think like the topic and conversation of race is a bit different in America in comparison to like other countries. Like I've heard that like in the UK the issue there is more of like on class versus race, but I don't know. I can't really speak to that because I'm not from there, but yeah. Let's see. San Junipero is such an amazing piece of art. I agree. Angela's Cafe on TV. Going off topic again, but have you watched Love, Simon? Because I cried. No, I haven't. I really, really want to watch Love, Simon, though. Alec, are you going to react to The Handmaid's Tale? Yeah, I'm planning to when season 2 comes out. But I've also reacted and reviewed season 1, so if you're looking for that, it's on the channel. Julia Roberts. I'm the only person who doesn't stand San Junipero or Hang the DJ. That's okay. I mean, like, I understand. I like, personally, for me, like, I'm a huge San Junipero stan, but in terms of like this recent season, I would say my favorite episode is Black Museum. Hang the DJ would probably be like second or third, but I really, really enjoyed Black Museum. Angela's Cafe on TV. It is so good. Amadeus. Oops. Okay. Amadeus. I get that, but I think comparing slavery to consensual relationships, especially since Dirty Dancing and other straight romances had a 17-year-old character in a relationship with someone older as well. Have any of you watched the trailer for Saturday Church? I haven't. Amadeus, I feel like the new Black Mirror season turned out so stale. I kind of agree, like, loosely agree with you there. I think, like, I mean, like, season 4 was so close to season 3, and I think, like, low-key, a lot of people were still on a high from season 3. For me, I hope that when Black Mirror season 5 does come out, like, I'd rather them take their time with it and make, like, the best possible episodes that they can, and, like, take their time in, like, trying to create and come up with, like, original new stories, maybe even new pieces of technology. Like, take their time before coming out with season 5, because I feel like they had such a quick turnaround between seasons 3 and 4 that there were some, like, similarities, and some people were kind of being like, oh, well, this is similar to that episode, blah, 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 blah. So, like, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you there. Like, I think I overall enjoy season 3 the most, in comparison at least to season 4. But, yeah, I mean, I think Charlie Brooker and his creative team, they're, like, such geniuses, and they're so great at what they do. I just feel like they need to just take their time when they do come out with the season 5. Like, take your time in making the best stories as possible, instead of, like, trying to rush it for the sake of, like, wanting to come out with, like, new episodes of the season. So, yeah. Angela's Cafe on TV. I think they snuck at torture towards the black people and nosedive towards chess? Towards chess? Are you talking about when the black guy was in the jail cell at the end of Nosedive? Yeah. But also, like, Lacey got in there too. So, I don't know. Yeah. That's something I have to think about a little bit more. But I really don't know. I am, at Amadeus, a minor can't have a consensual relationship with an adult. Dean classic. That beach scene, though, with Yorkie walking around the sounds of the blue waves. Ooh, yeah, the beach scene is beautiful, stunning. It's stunning. Like, the way they, like, the cinematography in that scene alone is just so visually satisfying. Amadeus, there's a lot of videos on it on YouTube as well, but I feel like they're slowly losing their appeal to me. Julia Roberts, the episode with the guy from Get Out seemed a bit tortuous from the second season. Oh yeah, you're talking about God, what was that episode called? I think it was called, like, 15 Million Merits. Yeah, 15 Million Merits. True. Yeah. But then again, like, there were other people that were in the same exact conditions as him, and he, in the end, sort of, like, sold himself out so that he could be in, like, a better position, but in a way that's, like, he was still somewhat imprisoned. But then, like, also in that same episode, like, that white girl, like, she was, like, basically sold into prostitution. Like, so, I don't know. I don't know. Julia Roberts, I loved USS Callister, was so good. I didn't think I'd even like it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, in the beginning of USS Callister, I was like, oh, sci-fi, I don't know if this is for me, but, like, those last 20 minutes, man, like, it was a thrilling ride. I really enjoyed that one. I feel like USS Callister, Hang the DJ, and Black Museum are, like, easily my top 3. The gore in Black Museum was doing a little too much for me, but it was amazing. Yeah, especially, like, when they were torturing the hologram, that was a little too much for me, but agreed. Saturday Church is an LGBT film about a black kid who finds the ballroom scene. The trailer came out around the time of Love, Simon, so it kind of died down on the hype. Oh, that's sad. Okay, Saturday Church. Julia Roberts, the beginning of Black Museum was a lot for me too. I couldn't deal with it and had to skip up. Is Saturday Church like Paris is Burning? I saw Paris is Burning. That's a really cool movie. Amadeus. Also, yeah, I don't mean like season 4 is bad. It's just like that I feel like someone was missing in that season. But still had some strong episodes. Yeah, agreed. Frank Leon, the show is too crazy. I couldn't get into it. I feel like it depends. I feel like, Frank, you should just try and go back and, like, watch episodes that aren't, like, so so extreme, like a white bear or like a white Christmas, like I highly recommend, Frank, that you watch Nosedive. I think that's a good, like, nice place to start. It's not like too insane, but there's definite like social commentary and tech, which I think, you know, you get in every single Black Mirror episode. So start with Nosedive and then go from there. And then also, like, hey, Frank, watch San Junipero. I am, no, because Saturday Church seems more like a musical instead of a documentary. Oh. Julia Roberts, I just Googled it. It isn't. LMAO. Dean Classic, how tired of talking are you on a scale to 10? LOL. I'm fine. I'm okay. I can keep talking. I'm trying to go for like a full 2 hours, so we still got a little bit of time here. And I mean, hey, remember that one time when I live streamed for 3 hours? So there's that. I am Paris is Burning. Is great though if you all have not seen it. I recommend it, an integral part of Black LGBTQ culture. Oh yeah, I second that. If you guys have never seen Paris is Burning, like, it's a really, it's a documentary about like the ball scene that was taking place back in, what was that, like the 90s, I believe, or I don't know. I saw it like a long time ago when I was in college, when I was taking this, like, forget what was that class called. It was something about like LGBTQ like rights and whatnot, but highly recommend you watch it. I think it's on Netflix, so yeah, watch it. Julia Roberts, did you dress like Beyonce on purpose? Are you talking about, who are you talking about? Me? Are you talking about me? I am. I watched the first episode of On My Block on Netflix, and it's great. Low-key great. Oh, okay. On My Block, never heard of it. Patrick EBFG. I think the next thing I'm ready to watch is This Is Us, but I don't know if I'm ready emotionally. Yeah, Patrick, it's like a cathartic show. Like, it's a very emotional show. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you'll probably, like, cry in almost every single episode, but it's like a good cathartic cry. Yeah, it's like a good cathartic cry. Julia Roberts, Paris is Burning is on Netflix. Okay, so for those of you who want to watch Paris is Burning, it's on Netflix. Patrick EBFG, it won't be harder on me than 13 Reasons, I hope. Oh no, I feel like 13 Reasons Why was like 13 Reasons Why is like a fairly dark show. Like, even though like there's teenagers and like a lot, it may be marketed as like a teen show, but like there were some moments in 13 Reasons Why when it's like, oh my god, this is too much. But I feel like This Is Us, it's more of like a cathartic cry, if that makes sense. Like, there's like happy emotions and there's definitely like sad emotions, but there's happy cries too. I highly recommend, Patrick, you get into This Is Us. Okay, I'm gonna like move this a little bit because my mom is watching TV and the volume is like really loud. Okay, Julia Roberts, you look like Beyonce in Grown Woman. I think her shirt was Tommy Hilfiger, not Fila though. Oh, well, Julia, thank you. I haven't seen that Grown Woman music video in so effing long, but Grown Woman, an underrated, iconic, classic song of part of Beyonce's discography. I'm so upset that like Beyonce never performs that as much as she should. Like, she literally only performed Grown Woman during her like Mrs. Carter tour, and that was it. Like, she needs to bring it back. Like, I'm hoping she's gonna bring it back. Well, I don't know if she'll be able to bring it back and On the Run too, but if she does, like, that will be a freaking moment. But wow, thank you, Julia. I'll take the compliment. Dean Classic, I totally remember the 3-hour stream with the Whitney Houston scarf and all. Don't we all remember the Whitney Houston scarf? I mean, that was truly iconic. I was just paying tribute to Whitney, you know. Let's see. I think I'm caught up on all of the comments. Alright, well, I'm going to keep doing this for like a good 20 more minutes. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask, because we're just gonna keep going. Because again, like, I started like a full hour late, so I'm trying to make it up to you guys by doing a full 2 hours instead of just like the 1 hour that I normally do. So yeah. I am. Drag Race season 10 looks like it's going to be messy. Yeah, again, I don't watch Drag Race, but I mean, from what I can gauge on Twitter, a lot of people are very excited about Drag Race season 10. I am. IDK, if any of you have watched. Yeah, I don't know if anyone here has watched Drag Race, but again, I watched Drag Race like a couple episodes here and there, but like back when I was in high school, so I don't know. Let's see. What else? Yeah, I'm hoping I can try and see like Love, Simon and A Wrinkle in Time sometime this week. Crossing my fingers. Also, my cousin who has a YouTube channel is also wanting to do like make collab videos with me, so we're planning on filming those sometime this week, so potentially you guys will see those videos out as well. Amadeus, have you seen 5'2", the Gaga Netflix documentary? Well, Amadeus, I actually have, and not only have I watched it, but I did a review of that documentary on my YouTube channel, so you can actually go and like watch that video if you want to see my thoughts on the Gaga 5'2" documentary. It's on my YouTube channel. I am. A Wrinkle in Time looks so cool, but I'm going to stay safe, everyone. I'm glad I got to catch you live. Okay, well, bye, I am. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Glad you could make it. Patrick EBFG, yay, more content. Yes, for sure. I know I've been like really slacking lately with the consistent upload, but again, it's because I'm working on the vlogs, and my goal is like when I want all the vlogs to be done so I could like upload it more consistently. And there's also going to be like I'm planning on doing like tons of different types of content on the channel, because I feel like right now my channel is more predominantly like fan reaction Friday videos, and that's still going to be a thing on the channel, but as like once the vlogs are done, you're gonna see a lot more different content from me. Like aside from like television reviews and movie reviews and like album reviews, like there's gonna be like different stuff in there too. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Amadeus, oh maybe it was before I subscribed. I'm definitely gonna give it a look, haha. Yeah, give it a look. I think I like reviewed it like on the weekend it came out actually. So like maybe like back in like November-ish, like the fall-ish period of time. So yeah, check it out, and yeah, let me know in the comment section of that video what were your thoughts on the documentary. I really like, that's one of my favorite things to watch, is like music documentaries, especially like documentaries about like artists that I really like. It's like one of my favorite things ever, like hence why I really enjoyed like Whitney, Can I Be Me, even though it was like a really dark documentary. I really enjoyed that, and like I liked This Is It, the Michael Jackson documentary. And I also really liked this documentary called I think it was called like 10 Feet from Stardom or 20 Feet from Stardom. It was actually nominated for an Oscar, and I believe it won the Oscar for Best Documentary. But that documentary was about like different background singers and how it was like when they were in the music scene, like being background singers for people like the Rolling Stones and Tina Turner, and like just how like the background singing scene has sort of evolved since like not a lot of singers use background singers anymore because of like technology. I don't know, it's just like a really interesting documentary, so I highly recommend that you guys watch it if you like are interested in like music documentaries. Amadeus, have you seen Amy? No, I have not seen Amy yet. I want to, but I also heard like that's a really dark music documentary, so I don't know, we'll see. But I have not seen it yet. Dean Classic. LOL, random question, do you possibly have any home remedies for a bad cough? I am a mess. Julia Roberts, drink like an entire bottle of orange juice, 100% orange juice, and a lot of water. Yeah, I would say like water. is good for a cough. Do you have like cough drops? I know it's like not an at-home remedy, but I don't think those are like too expensive. Like cough drops, and I heard if your throat begins to like get really irritated and like scratchy, like gurgling hot water with salt is like really, it will like really like help your throat. And like hot tea with lemon and honey, really good for like your throat. Thanks a million, I will try it. I used to drink regular orange juice, then my dad switched me to light pulp. Julia Roberts, ooh, tea. Patrick EBFG, take lots of showers, it feels good, and steam helps. Yeah, I feel like steam like will help with the throat. So like tea, like Julia Roberts said, like orange juice or like hot water and gurgling salt water and like taking like hot warm shower will be good. Amadeus, making ginger tea, but like proper ginger tea, aka a fresh ginger root sliced in some smaller pieces and letting it cook for some time. Yeah, but Amadeus said, sounds like professional like tea person. Anything between 20 minutes to 3 hours will do. Yeah, what she said. I feel like 3 hours is a lot of time, so maybe like the 20-minute time mark will be good for you. Yeah. Hope you get better though, Dean. All right, so we have about like 5-ish more minutes before we will end the stream because we've been doing this for a full 2 hours. So if anyone has any at-home remedies for Dean, now is the time to suggest. Dean Classic, you guys are lifesavers. Amadeus, and add some honey. Yeah, see, honey. But after it cooled down already because boiling water will kill the good stuff in the honey. Frank Leon, I told an old cold worker that she should drink tea, honey, and lime, and she flipped because I guess that's a diabetic's nightmare. Oh, I wouldn't know. Last tip, if it gets bath, chamomile steam baths help, I heard. Yeah, see, Julia Roberts, we're same. My mom would make me gargle hot salt water. Yeah, like again, if your throat is really irritated, just get hot water, put some salt in it, and then like just chug it back and gargle and then like spit it out like a couple of times, and your throat will feel like a little bit more, not as like inflamed. So, yeah. George, gets bad. Oh, if it gets bad. Oops, it's okay. We all make typos, George. Frank Leon, maybe you should try bath salts while you're at it. Wow, we're all just such a helpful bunch. Okay, let's see. All right, 3 more minutes, and then we're gonna end the stream. And then for those of you guys who want to catch next week's stream, it's gonna be at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully, if you're able to make it, see you there. If not, that's okay. And again, like if you guys ever want to watch any of the old live streams, I made it on a playlist on my like channel. So if you go on YouTube and you search my name, In My Humble Opinion, and you go to like my main YouTube channel page, just scroll down a little bit and you'll see a section of my past live streams, and I've made it in a very convenient playlist for all of you so you guys can rewatch them all. And actually, there's like this new feature on YouTube now where when you watch old live streams, you can actually see the comments like as they appeared during the live stream. So if you guys are ever interested in that, it's there for you. And I low-key feel like YouTube did that to like sort of compete with like Twitch, but that's a whole other topic. But yeah, if you guys are ever interested in watching any of the old live streams because you weren't able to catch it, or maybe you didn't stay the whole time, because I know some of these streams can go for quite a bit, for like quite a long time. So yeah, there's that. And I've also heard, I think KD said in one live stream that sometimes she just leaves the live stream on and lets it sort of play as like a podcast. So if any of you guys are ever like traveling like long distances and need something to listen to, you can always just pull up the stream and it's right there for you. Or you just want something to listen to in the background while you're working, the stream is there for you. Yeah. So that's my little promo on the live streams. All right. So if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, now is the time to ask. Dean Classic, this was lovely. See you on the next stream. Love now and always. All right. Great stream. Have a good one. Okay. So that's about it for this stream. Since everyone, we're going to be leaving. KD says, yes, ma'am. Okay, so, all right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Again, I'm really sorry that I was an hour late, but I hope doing this for 2 hours today made up for the loss. Well, not lost time, made up for me being late. And again, if you haven't already, please give the stream a thumbs up. And check out all of the previous streams if you haven't already, because they're in a very convenient playlist on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed, like, I don't know how you found this live stream, but subscribe. Okay, bye guys. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next Sunday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the live stream. All right, bye.